It is ironic that we use the words mom guilt to articulate our feelings about insufficiency, misbelief, and disappointment in ourselves, when guilt is actually supposed to be felt when you did something wrong. Moms do so many right things, and yet they're almost always guilty. Let's dig deeper into why we feel so. Hey mommies! We know you're tired and you're here for a reason.
We are two moms just looking to unwind after a long day. So come join our rants and let's make this journey a little less lonely, one episode at a time.
Welcome to our podcast, Mom vs. World.
That is right on point. Recently, there was a get together at our place, which I was initially very excited about because I barely had any social interaction that whole year. That day, I woke up at 4, left the baby with my husband, cleaned and cooked, got dressed up, and all of that stuff. My husband was understanding about how overwhelmed I was, but I still did feel a bit guilty for making him do a lot of chores and giving him too much baby duty so early in the morning. Anyway, from the moment people started walking in until they left, here's the summary of everything that they said to me that day. Okay, we used to do it this way, we used to do it that way, stop doing this, start doing that, why are you doing it this way, your baby is too thin, are you feeding him enough, he looks weak. Suggestions after suggestions after suggestions. It's like some of our relatives have just forgotten how to have other types of conversation at all. Every interaction seemed to be some sort of advice. It makes you feel so guilty when you keep hearing those things again and again, like you're doing something wrong or that you're not doing enough. Anyway, that day just ended up being one of the most mentally exhausting days ever for me.
I can totally relate to that. Even if such advice has the best of his intent, we end up feeling like we are not doing a good job. And such guilt cannot be comprehended by anybody else who is not a mom. And not only guilt, we have these bunch of negative feelings around us when we are supposed to be happy because we have a growing healthy child. And what else do we need, right? But I sometimes feel like this is a blessing and also a curse at the same time. It might sound wrong.
Yeah, that's weird. It's like, I mean, we can have conflicting feelings, right? What's wrong in that? And that kind of guilt is not going anywhere, I'm telling you, because you're gonna be a mom forever, which means worry and guilt forever. I remember that we still guilt our mom for some things unknowingly even now, only now we actually understand those things. And such prolonged guilt really takes a hit at your physical health as well. Things weighing down in your mind takes a heavy toll on your body as well. I mean, I can honestly say I don't know any women personally over the age of 40 that is fairly in a decent health condition. So much hard work and suffering, it's just sprouting from so much negativity.
That is actually so true. Now I'm worried about how our mental and physical health is going to be in the next few years. I think the only way we can keep up and maintain our mental health is by looking at this motherhood journey in a more optimistic perspective. Look at the amazing qualities that we have achieved in the last few months. The amount of patience, the endurance, the strength that we have today is unimaginable just a year back.
Yeah, I mean, if the 20-year-old me saw what I'm doing today on a daily basis and what I'm capable of today, she would be proud of me for sure. But right now, forget pride. I barely have the confidence that I'll make it to the end of the day without bursting into tears. Can you believe that?
Yeah, the number of nights we sleep in tears is definitely more than what we can admit. I'm sure all the other moms can relate to me. I think Instagram is one of the biggest culprit here. Those unrealistic moms setting those unrealistic expectations makes our guilt worse.
Oh, guilt is the star content for Instagram and other social media. All these moms with their perfect bodies, perfect kids, and they have these perfect routines. You know how their kids are reaching milestones before time, if not on time. It's like they can do no wrong. Is that even real?
Yeah, obviously, we are never satisfied with whatever we do. We are always trying to attain the unattainable and we are unhappy about
Yeah,
it.
motherhood is like mission impossible. You're trying to achieve 48 hours worth of tasks in 24 hours. Of course, you can't finish on time, so you sleep with guilt. And then you plan to catch up with all those tasks you didn't do today, tomorrow. Again, you can't finish, and the cycle repeats again and again. Things keep piling up till you break down one day. It's sad how often we break down. All these things happen while you're dangerously sleep deprived and frustrated.
Yeah, how is your sleep now? Did it get better?
No, because I actually thought this phase is done, that phase is done, so maybe things will get better. But it's been a year, but I still feel like I'm getting as much sleep as I did in the beginning of
Oh, that's
birth.
sad. I mean, sleep was literally your favorite activity. You would fall asleep within seconds, no matter how many people are around you or where you are, you would just fall asleep.
True. Sleep is like my superpower. Used to be. People used to be jealous of my ability to sleep.
And even food, you wouldn't take a bite without choosing some content to watch. Look at you now gulping down everything.
Yeah. Sometimes I just eat off the fridge now. I mean, back then I used to have such a setup, my remote next to me, my show ready. I used to partition my food in the order that I used to eat. I can't even imagine spending that much time on food right now. It's funny. Now, if I do anything close to that, it just makes me feel selfish. Even if I want to take a small nap in the daytime or eat warm food or just sit and relax for a bit, it makes me feel selfish.
Yeah,
That's guilt, right? Again,
yeah, that's guilt.
I hope you're getting some time to rest and eat good food. You recently hired a nanny, right?
Oh,
How is
yeah.
that going?
Um, Not much. I still don't know how I feel about this. I just hired her for a couple of hours to see how it goes. Mostly, I am doing some other work when she's taking care of the baby. And even if by any chance I get some time to relax, I am not relaxing in peace. I constantly feel like I'm supposed to be doing something else. Like, I feel so guilty to just take a breather for a few minutes. And also, in my head, people are judging me for taking help, and
Um,
that makes it even worse.
Actually, I used to be one of those people who would judge
No,
people for
really?
hiring nannies. Not now, of course, but back then, a few years ago, I think, whenever I used to go to the park, I would see nannies with kids. And I would think, oh, I would never do that to my kid. What is this mom doing? She needs to get her priorities straight. I can't believe I used to think that way at some point. Of course, that changed. Now I'm so grateful to get any help at all. When I see other moms that I personally know, like you or anyone else, getting any help, any external help, I feel so grateful, good that they found something that really works for them. I hope this is going to work for you
Yeah,
at least
yeah.
eventually.
I think finding a good nanny is really, really tough. I mean, the nanny system in India is not very well established. People usually get some help from their villages or through some known person. If you don't have such contacts, you have to rely on the nanny companies, and they charge you a bomb.
Oh, yeah, I heard they're really expensive.
Yeah, and I think it's even more challenging for this generation because most of us are nuclear families and we are too self reliant, and we convince ourselves that we are supposed to do it all or we are worthless.
I mean, I'm a working mom. I still work from home, but I feel like a bad mom for doing that. The only reason I'm able to work is because I have my in laws coming in and helping me. But I still feel very guilty for shutting the door on my kid so often. He sometimes scratches on the door crying for me. It's so heartbreaking. It makes me feel like my priorities are all wrong right now. Why am I doing this extra work and not spending time with my own kid? Working mom guilt is just something else. I cannot explain it.
Yeah, maybe. But on the other hand, I think the stay at home mom guilt is also no less. It's time to acknowledge that.
But you have time with your kid, and doesn't it feel rewarding to stay with your child all the time, giving him attention?
Maybe it looks like that from outside, but in reality, take me for example, like I chose to take care of my baby on my own. I chose not to work, but I always keep questioning myself, like what is the purpose of my life after my kid goes to school and he becomes busy? What do I come back to? I have nothing.
Okay.
That's one fear. Yeah, and another one is what if I'm setting a wrong example to him, as if women are supposed to stay at home and take care of all the household chores? The worst fear is what if someday he comes to me and asks me, Mom, what do you do? Nothing.
Oh God.
Yeah, that's a nightmare.
That's horrible. I remember this situation when we were kids and everyone was going around in circle telling what their parents do. Everyone was listing, my dad does this, my mom does that. And then there is this one girl who says, my dad works in so and so place, he's so and so position. And my mom, she does nothing. She sits at home. She said it with such an attitude. Okay, it makes me angry thinking about that. That poor mom, whoever she was working her ass off to provide for her family, and here her daughter is disappointed in her.
Yeah, I think I will be that poor mom someday.
Oh God, I really hope that doesn't happen to you.
I mean, that's sad. We give our whole self into this. We spend all our time, all our energy
everything.
into our family, and nobody really recognizes or appreciates our effort. I mean, we are only human, but we are expected to behave as if we are superhuman, all the while being treated as if we are subhuman.
That is well said. I like that. That's the cultural imprint, I think, that we just cannot erase. The burden of carrying forward our culture somehow only rests on women. We are expected to carry on all the values of olden days while raising our child to be prepared for the world tomorrow. There are so many external things that can influence and hinder a child's growth and development, like, for example, genetics or the father's presence in the child's life, maybe grandparents' influence, relatives, etc. But any slight offset, even the tiniest thing, the mom gets blamed.
That's true. Such blame accounts to most of the guilt that we carry. Even after knowing everything, we still keep falling into this trap of guilt time and again. I think we should start reminding each other about the amazing job we are doing and that we should be so proud of ourselves.
I really hope we could resonate with you because every feeling is valid in motherhood. If you enjoyed this episode, please follow us for more such content.